Their mission: to rid Malaysia of the communist insurgents using all means possible.
This is a guerrilla warfare. It is not a conventional warfare.
It's a game with the highest stakes.
Kill for to be killed.
The communists show no mercy.
Kau tengok, ni mata ni keluar. Dia putih di atas kepala.
An elite force, highly capable in guerrilla-style tactics, was established in 1969 to counter the communist insurgency.
We wanted to work as a small team, but a very effective unit.
Silent and deadly. They moved like ghosts in the dense tropical jungle. They were known as vat-69. Their operations were always veiled in secrecy. Spending most of their lives navigating the dense jungles of Malaysia, their contribution to the war effort was largely unknown. "40 years ago, they were the pioneering group of young soldiers that changed the future of Malaysia's special forces." The 17th of June, 1968. A Malaysian police field force makes a routine patrol along the Malaysia-Thailand border. Following a 12-year communist insurgency that left thousands dead, they are on the lookout for any communist guerrillas at the border. In their bid to take over Southeast Asia, the communists have turned the region into a bloody battlefield, most notably Indochina. But security forces in Malaysia believe the situation is under control. They couldn't have been more wrong. With meticulous planning and military precision, a group of communist insurgents storm the police field force trucks. The attack is swift and merciless, and a killing spree ensues. 14 field force policemen die on the spot, and many others are seriously injured in what becomes known as the Crow Massacre. 10 days earlier, the Communist Party of Malaya had issued a fiery message to its members to hold high the great red banner of the armed struggle and valiantly march forward. The message was published and broadcast even in China. It lifted the spirit of communist guerrillas in Malaysia to start another round of revolution. Senior Assistant Commissioner A. Navaratnam remembers the murders in Crow.
They shot them at random. When they knew they were survivors, they just shot. So the rest who survived pretended to be dead.
Sub-Inspector Abdul Rahman recalls the horror of seeing the slain bodies of the Crow victims.
Bolehkah dah mati kena tembak, kena mati dikelakkan lagi, baluan dipotongkan lagi.
He was given a heavy task of breaking the news to the next of kin.
Anak bini semua dijemput datang tengok suami mereka dalam sorot tersebut. Yang saya tengok 3 orang isteri mereka yang tak keluar air mata setitik pun. Saya lihat sendiri, alhamdulillah. Semana dia bersabar, iman dia punya kuat.
It was an ominous sign that the Communist Party of Malaya had returned to its murderous ways. In the earlier communist uprising from 1948 until 1960, a period known as the First Emergency, British and Malayan troops fought tooth and nail with thousands of communist terrorists wanting to take over the country. The Crow Massacre was the beginning of a brand new multi-stage offensive by a re-energized group of communist insurgents, hoping to topple the new government of Malaysia, barely 10 years after its independence from the British. Malaysia's strategic location in the heart of Southeast Asia was a perfect place for the Communist Party to spread its wings.
Their intention was to incurse back into Malaysia and do the same type of havoc which they did in the first emergency.
After the Crow massacre, the Malaysian security forces had to act quickly. The insurgents had developed a skill of creating small pockets of bloody havoc before melting invisibly back into the jungle. For the Malaysian government, the best way to fight these hit-and-run tactics was to form a special jungle force trained in guerrilla warfare and strategy. A nationwide search began for potential jungle warriors. The new breed of fighters were to be called Very Able Troopers 69, or vat-69. vat-69 had only one task: to eliminate the threat of communist insurgents in Malaysia once and for all. The newly formed troopers would be the ultimate in counterinsurgency warfare. With huge trees and thick, dense foliage reducing the effective range of weapons, the focus shifted from typical military tactics to close-quarter fighting and ambushes. The training centered on avoiding detection and short, sharp bursts of gunfire called double tap, a technique developed specifically for jungle confrontations. Abdul Rahman remembers signing up.
Saya tak bayang apa akan berlaku dalam hutan. Tak ada cita-cita, tak ada angan. Saya nak khidmat kerana agama, bangsa dan negara. Itu yang penting. Dan hati saya. Mana hantar sekalipun, saya pergi.
For Sergeant Major Hamza, his joining was more personal.
Abang saya sendiri, dia jungle squad dulu. Jungle squad dia di ambush di komunis, dia kena granat. Jadi dia meninggal. Jadi ada juga hati tu.
After successfully signing up, the new recruits had to endure a punishing training schedule.
Pertama-tama di segi kita punya kesihatan lah. Itu penting. Jasmani kita, kekuatan kita, fikiran kita, mata kita, telinga kita, semua nak kena upgrade.
Kami kena panjat Gunung Berincang, dibekalkan pasir 30 pound dan turun. Dia tujuan itu untuk ambil mata.
Those who passed the early selection moved to the next level. And the Malaysian government could not have chosen better trainers to test them. Used extensively and successfully during the first emergency, they brought in the British Special Air Service, better known as the SAS. Sergeant Major Hamza remembers his first trip to the jungle training camp.
Nak pergi ke jungle camp tu memang seksa. Dia orang kata good morning, bukit good morning itu nak daki dia tu. Memang orang kata bertongkat lah. Senjata tu jadi tongkat. Sampai dengan camp pula tu, dia duduk, dia bagi kami tempat duduk. Nak ambil air, turun mau pergi 40 minit ke tengah jam, turun ambil air. Nak daki dia tahu. Dia bagi kami endurance, tekanan.
The SAS immediately honed in on the single most important aspect of their training: stealth.
Saya tengok dalam latihan tu, pertama tu taktik bergerak. Bergerak lautan itu yang penting. Makanan kita terikan, makanan yang tak berbau. Masak barang-barang tak tinggal. Taktik perjalanan lautan dirahsia. Tidak boleh cerita siapa-siapa pun.
Following the training in stealth came the serious business of weapons handling. To make things as realistic as possible, the SAS added a new and rather unnerving dimension to the young recruits' training: live bullets.
Latihan tembak mesti selalu. Kerana kita dah biasa dengan letupan ni kan, kita tak berapa takut. Terus dia kata, up, terus tembak, tumbuk. Up, tumbuk. Up, tumbuk. Double tap semua. Dan pada sini kita ni sekali ni. Ada juga latihan-latihan yang mana dia buat musuh serang kita.
Dia training, dia melatih kita betul-betul untuk memahirkan kita dalam hutan. Memang tak ada tujuan mendera.
After 3 months of grueling SAS training, the pioneer troopers of vat-69 had been transformed from part-time recruits to highly trained jungle fighters. They were now ready to take on the communists and the notorious jungle.